Hello viewers, me and team here, and welcome to another Civ 4 post commentary. We are continuing in Hall of Fame Challenger 6 Game 2, and this is part 11, I believe. And a couple things about the game. I've chosen my tech for turning around my economy as fast as possible. I actually haven't had a lot of questions on my tech choices or anything. But yeah, astronomy for the foreign intercontinental trade, which is really powerful, is a big draw. So there's that. City sizes of 10 plus are helpful for trade routes, so that matters as well. And other than that, I don't have a lot of questions about my tech choices, interestingly. So I'm guessing most of it's self-explanatory to you. And again, in the last video, I had some questions why I didn't take out Charlemagne, and I just didn't think I could do it cost effectively. So I decided to avoid doing that instead, at least for the time being. Obviously, going for domination, he's one of my top candidates to hit because he's close. And yeah, we're just backfilling now into all these other cities that with farms, they're still pretty good. So they can be grown despite not having any food resources, but they're not something you'd want to settle early ordinarily. And with civil service and the ability to spread irrigation, I am going to town on that, having only a few cities to settle still. And okay, with that being said, and yes, I'm looking for open borders and looking for fruitful trades. A lot of war plotting going on in this video, whatever. But yeah, with that being said, let's go to the questions. This starting off with Mr. Hand Banana New. And I do not think some of my polycasters would approve of that name, but I do, because it is Trollami. Bad puns involving viewer names are awesome. The main team, how would you recommend starting out in the Civ 4 multiplayer community? I've been single player off and on for years, but I've yet to get my feet wet in multiplayer. Are there any places for noob-friendly games, or am I just late to the party? Unfortunately, I believe you are just a little bit late to the party. That's not necessarily too bad, though. I mean, just... you can read through game summaries on Realms Beyond to see how slower-paced games go. You can watch some things in multiplayer. I don't know if you can actually observe or not, so maybe I shouldn't say that. But probably one of the best ways to go about it is just to jump into a game and see what works and what doesn't. I will say that on GameSpy, a lot of these like Pangea free-for-alls or whatever, you're going to see a lot of chariot rushes, a lot of pillaging or killing of people outright like that, and a lot of games that end on somebody either being killed by that or successfully defending it. There's also the skirmisher cheese, and mostly just early game survival is what it comes down to. But certainly if you can either avoid that or survive it and tech well, then you'll be in a strong position to win the game. So that's one thing. With water maps, just make sure not to get all your naval cities forked and raised, because if you do that, you're going to die, I promise you. Other than that, just, there's nothing I can say that will be as useful as giving it a try yourself, especially since you're asking for such a general question. Alright, next thing is some advice. Actually, I'm not going to go into too much detail with these because there's so many, and the opinions are split. Basically, I asked in the previous video if I should continue the plan of going to Heroes of Might and Magic 5 next after Heroes 3, or if I should just skip straight to 6. And I have split opinions on that. Apparently 6 has some bugs and some basic issues with it like that will probably be corrected, because all the other games had initial bugs that were corrected. And other people just, it's the newest game, so they want to see it. It looks like this decision is going to wind up just being whatever I decide, because, my viewership is split on it. If I had a runaway opinion one way or the other, I would go for that. But considering the state of Heroes 6, then I will probably hold off on getting it for a few months, just to let some patches settle in. Probably a little bit too early for an expansion, but I don't care about that as much. And just go ahead and go through with 5 and all of its expansions. And yeah, just basically stooge around in that as I learned yet another game, because I never really got good at Heroes 5. Okay, and this one's from Flying MacGuffin. You have to collect the MacGuffins or you cannot progress with the plot. In your opinion, what would you say is the best leader civ for the different victory conditions? Some more obvious than others, and I'd like to hear what you think. Oh geez, for space, Darius, of whatever you want. financial organized. You rush out a whole bunch of things with Immortals and slap down cottages. Go, go, go. That's what most of the best Hall of Fame times do for space. For culture, anybody with financial, spiritual, or philosophical are good. Anyone else is not so good. So just take what you can from that. For Diplo, it doesn't matter. For war, again, it's really situation specific. But powerful early game uniques or something that confers an actual conquering advantage is probably the way to go. And I'm not giving you advice on time because that particular victory condition makes my eyes bleed. Boiler asks if I have played any of the Settler series. Unfortunately, I have not, so once again, I'd have difficulty commenting on them. Apparently, though, he will end you if you say that there's such a thing as Settlers 5. Yeah, more Heroes 5 versus Heroes 6. Dylan522P and somebody else, Twas Azurk, have each advocated that I actually cast a game of Mafia. Okay, sure, why not? We play that on Saturdays, so that'll be a ways off, but fine. I'll see how it goes, how the viewership likes it or not. In the time between now and then, I'll try to think about how I can make it a little bit more interesting. And yeah, so if that's something that even a couple of you want to see, I guess I'll give it a shot. Why not? All those other trolls are giving me a bad name by Trollami. No way, Trollami. There's only one Trollami, at least on my channel. So you do not get a bad name. All right. Here we go. By CD Narmy Medic. Yes, CD Narmy Medic. I think that's the closest I can get to pronouncing that correctly. Hey, me and team, love the LP vids. Look forward to new episodes of Polycast. I'm always glad to hear that. I am currently semi-successful at Prince, but War is definitely my weak point. Do you have a rule of thumb for how many units are needed before declaring? I find I either wait too long, build too many units, or I go in with too few and get hosed by the AI. Yee. Oh, man. These questions are always fun and generalized questions, aren't they? Just wow. Okay, how do I answer this? I usually feel it out. Like, you can get open borders with the vast majority of AIs not named Tokugawa and just scout through their lands and see what they have. And then, of course, difficulty dependent, they're going to be spamming out additional units after you declare on them. But what you see, especially in their stack, is what you're going to have to deal with. So that's probably the best way to go about evaluating how many units you need, is to just look at the enemy stack and say, okay, what do I need to kill this? And that usually involves a decent amount of siege plus a good cleanup unit. And then the only other thing to consider is to add enough extra dudes to defend new city conquests. And remember that you can reinforce, but once you enter their territory, it's going to be difficult. Movement's going to be difficult. So you can count on reinforcements of your own, but not as much as you can count on them having reinforcements. But at the same time, the AI is really crummy at war, and if you hit it with collateral, you can kill a lot of units while retaining your own units. You know, you get 5-to-1 or 10-to-1 kill to death ratio, and the AI really doesn't stand a chance. So the biggest thing is to clear their stack of doom and still have your own stack of doom going in. Other than that, you really just need the experience. But if you use that rule of thumb, you should learn the amount you need for a given difficulty quickly. You'll probably only have 1 or 2 blown games where you invade with the wrong amount if you do that, which, in the scheme of things, having only 1 or 2 blown games is pretty handy. Can be much worse than that. And final question that I'm going to answer is from Morbius Slayer. I don't know if you've answered this before, but if you've played them, your thoughts on the Total War series. And also, Dota 2 Beta is out now. If you ask the Ice Frog, you might be able to get a couple of keys because you have a semi-popular YouTube channel. Oh, it's so awesome to be semi-popular. Okay, well, first of all, unfortunately I haven't played the Total War series. I believe I have mentioned this in comments before. But I play a wide variety of game genres, so when it comes to strategy games, it's mostly to this point been games like Civilization or real-time strategy like StarCraft or Warcraft 3. So I haven't played a lot of the other basic strategy games that have come out throughout the years, because I also play shooters. Like, I'm big on Gears of War 3 now. At least when I'm not having to go to bed at night because I'm tired. And I've played a lot of Halo in the past, a lot more of Call of Duty than Halo in the past. So I play some shooters, and then over the years I've also played a lot of Madden and that kind of stuff. Less so in the hockey games, not really at all in the basketball games. And then you have stuff like Demon's Souls and now Dark Souls that I'm playing. So I get into a wide variety of genres, and that really makes it difficult for me to completely cover any one genre, and that does include the strategy genre. Now, as for the Dota, oh man, if I can get Ice Frog to give me a key and he gives me the go-ahead to cast that, I'm doing it because I love Dota, and I played a lot of that back in the day. My last hitting timing is probably going to be god-awful. My knowledge of the heroes will be bad at first, but I'll learn. I wasn't the highest skilled player out there, but I knew pretty much everything about the game at one point, and it was almost impossible to gank me because I just have really good map awareness. So, it was rare that I would run away with a game unless I just found a scrub and picked on him, which public games happens constantly, but in more organized games, much less. But I usually did pretty well regardless, because I would pick heroes that were good for early laning, and I had strong map awareness, and a decent idea of when to use abilities in team situations. So I had a lot of fun with Dota. I really appreciate the team aspect of it. If I can get into the beta, and if I can get into a team, that would be amazing, and I would love to bring that to you guys, so I'll do what I can with that. Aside from that, that's pretty much all I can take care of for today. Those are all the questions that are on there. And once again, I've gone over the video a little bit, but not as much as yesterday. So that's good. Should be uploading a Heroes 3 video today as well. In fact, I'll probably just queue it up behind this one. Anyway, viewers, thumbs up if you liked this video, and I will see you guys in part 12. Me and team signing off.